Hey, what's up folks, this is GK. When you are planning to learn DevOps or cloud, what is the first thing that you would do as a new learner or a person who is trying to learn DevOps or cloud for the first time? So I'm going to explain you the 3 mistakes that most of the people do whenever they want to learn a cloud service provider or a DevOps tool, or in general any IT technology that they would like to learn for the first time. And I'm also going to tell you how I have learned DevOps or cloud much faster, and I'm going to give you tips that will definitely benefit you, and you will learn tools much faster by using these tips. So the first mistake everybody does whenever they think about learning DevOps or cloud, or whenever somebody tells them to learn a technology, is sign up for a course. See, more often what happens is that whenever you go and sign up for a course, whether it is Udemy or Pluralsight or any such courses where you find 30 hours of course on DevOps or cloud, or 15 hours or more, you will be overwhelmed when you start the course, and you'll go through lots of tools, lots of technologies, and then some basics of Python, Linux. By the end of 1 or 2 modules, you will feel like this is too much, I cannot do this anymore, and you'll start going into your bad habits of playing games. In my case, I would play games or watch movies or binge watch some YouTube stuff. So that's the number 1 mistake. And there is a stat as well to back this argument, or to back this mistake, that only less than 5% of the people who have signed up for the course in Udemy would actually complete the whole course. And if you are part of the 5%, then that's great, because I can tell you that whatever I have bought in Udemy, I have never completed those courses. Don't sign up for a course right away. And I'm going to tell you what you should do in the second part of the video. The second mistake that everybody does is start reading books. Now let's say you want to learn Terraform or Kubernetes or any other tool, Ansible or whatever tool in DevOps or a cloud service provider. Don't buy a book. Again, the same thing that happens with the video or book is that most of the time you would never complete the book. Books will be very beneficial whenever you're trying to learn a theoretical concept like horizontal scaling or vertical scaling, or some security concepts or networking concepts that doesn't change often. So those are important concepts that you can read from books, or in general from Google or anywhere. But if you have good habit of reading books, then you can buy some fundamental books that would be beneficial, but don't buy a book that would teach you the tools like Terraform or Ansible, because those keep changing and you should always rely on the websites. So that's mistake number 2. So mistake number 3 is that trying to learn too many things in short period of time. I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to learn DevOps, and I have shown in my step-by-step videos or in the roadmap, you have to learn so many things. You have to learn these tools, you have to learn Linux, Python or Kubernetes. So when I say that, you should never go to a Python course and sign up for the course. And then you should never think like, okay, now the next step is to learn Linux, and then I will go and sign up for the Linux course or do Linux administration, or I will do all these things in maybe 1 month and then go for interviews. So that's a third important mistake, because DevOps and in general most of the technologies, even if you want to learn Java or Python, you would do this mistake that you want to accumulate lots of knowledge in less time, and then what will happen again is you will forget, and then you have to keep revising the way you would do in college. This is, I think, the college mentality that we all carry, or the education mentality that we all carry, that whenever we want to learn something, we would go to books or try to remember too many things for preparing for interviews or to get into a company. So these are the 3 mistakes that people do. But again, there are exceptions. For example, if you want to learn a certification, then you can sign up for a 6-hour course, because certification tend to ask you that is important to get certified. But otherwise, if you want to learn technology and get a job, then this is not the right way of doing things. Alright, so this is how I would do it. Again, let me know in the comment section if you disagree with me, because not everybody is same. A lot of people would still prefer the first way of doing things, like going through courses and stuff. But this is what I have done when I have learned DevOps, and this is what you can also learn from me if possible, and then get to the point faster than going through the traditional model. So the first thing is, whenever you want to learn any tool or technology, learn the bare minimum that is required for you to get started. again, example here is that let's say you want to learn Terraform, or let's say you want to learn Kubernetes, any technology. To start with, what is Terraform? And do a Google search. So Terraform is an infrastructure management tool or provisioning tool. It creates infrastructure. And then when you know what is Terraform, the second part of the question that you should have in your mind is what problem that the Terraform tool is trying to solve, which the other tools were not able to do it. Okay, in this example, in this case, Terraform is a provisioning tool that will help you to provision service providers, multi-cloud service providers, whether it is AWS or GCP. If you're using CloudFormation, that you have to use only AWS, but in the case of Terraform, a lot of companies use Terraform because they want to manage multiple cloud service providers and also workloads in on-premise if possible. Now, the second important question, what problem the tool is trying to solve. So when you know these two things, I think most of the time you'll have complete clarity about now what you're going to do with this tool. Okay, the third important thing now is that how to install this tool and how to get started. And this is the most important thing. This is where you start. So you go to Terraform website and then search for how to set up Terraform on Linux or how to install Terraform on Windows. So then when you just do the first step itself, installing Terraform, I guess the half battle is won. What you do is when you're trying to install Terraform, when you go through the documentation, you will build the habit of learning from the documentation. And second, when you're trying to execute those commands in Linux, now you might not be knowing like how to set this up in an environment variable in Linux. So you will learn about that. So you will create this tree of knowledge, or you will create these multiple branches and leaves that you have created in yourself, in your mind, when you're trying to do a simple command. Then you will unknowingly learn many things. It is like on-job training that you would do in any company. And the next thing is that now how to provision AWS EC2 instance using Terraform, or how would you provision a Google Compute Engine using Terraform. So when you do that, you will also learn about variables, how to use providers, and a lot of other things that would come into this. So when you're doing it this way in 4 or 5 days, or when you're practicing this, or when you're doing this in less than a week, you would know good stuff about Terraform. And then while you're doing this, an important tip is that go to a Glassdoor website or any such website and type for the Terraform interview questions that are asked in companies. When you do that, you'll see about how to manage a state file, how state file is locked, other questions like how would you use multiple cloud service provider blocks inside the providers, or how would you use aliases and all those things. So when you get those questions, so write them down or store them in a notepad and then start practicing those. And I'm telling you, when you do this way, you'll learn any tool, any technology the fastest possible way, instead of spending 30 hours in a course and then getting yourself burned out. And the same applies with the cloud service provider as well. If you want to learn AWS or GCP, whenever somebody asks me, what should I do? Should I sign up for a course? Should I join an institute, or should I join some PG course? Whenever I want to learn cloud, the first answer that I gave to that person in a comment section was that sign up for AWS account. That's the first thing. And incrementally, when you do these things, when you directly dive into practicals, you would gain momentum unknowingly. Because for example, let's say as soon as you've created AWS account, the dopamine levels in your brain will increase, and the next thing that you would love to do is that explore the account. Okay, then you see EC2 instance. Now I would like to create an EC2 instance or create a VM, and you will keep on increasing the wealth of knowledge, and within no time you will be ready for interview. And when you go for interview, this is what they will be asking in the interview. So they will be asking about how would you use Terraform state files, or tell me about how you have deployed a Docker container, or how did you expose the Docker container in the Kubernetes engine or in the Kubernetes environment. So this is what I wanted to cover, and this is exactly how I have learned myself DevOps or cloud. Again, the summary of this video is that learn bare minimum that is needed you to get started. Never get into that mode of have to complete the 30-hour course to get ready. Just get started, keep practicing, and that's how you would learn like DevOps or cloud or any technology. I hope this video is going to be helpful for you all, and especially for people who are students or for people who are in the professional background who are trying to get into DevOps or cloud, and the reason why they are struggling, I know many of my friends who have been thinking about getting into cloud for last 1 year. They were not able to do it because of the same thing. They have signed up for some course and they never got time to finish the course. So give yourself some targets, write down tasks, and get to the practicals of implementing those tasks. Thank you again for watching this video. Take care. Bye.